to Chapter 5, which is about using time as a prime resource. I'm Zach Blankenship, and my partners are Matthew Gonzalez and Deontay Johnson, and we're going to give you a little rundown over the chapter. So, in this chapter, it's going to talk about time and action, organization, excuses, objectives, and a solution. So first off, what is time? Unlike any other factors, time is a fixed one, and if it's not used thoughtfully, it's a waste, and it can never be recovered. And I think that's important and something that we all understand, and that's basically what this chapter is going to talk about. It's how you have to utilize time in the best way that you can. Time, as I just stated, is a non-recoverable resource, and that's why it's so critical. Other resources, like men, materials, machines, and money, these are resources that are different and in different combinations, and within a span of time, these can produce results, and that's extremely important. That's going to bring us into our first actual topic, and that's time and action. Like growing up and through college, we've always been told, maybe not by educated people or by our professors, but it's people think that speedy decisions can make for bad results. And according to Thanu, speedy decisions bring quicker actions and results. And whether the decision is right or wrong, it really depends on the soundness of the process up to that decision-making level. So basically, it's just saying, use the time in the best way you can, and make your actions worthwhile in the time that you have. So speedy decisions aren't always bad, according to the author, and sometimes they can actually be really good. Next, we're going to focus on organization. Next, we're going to talk about organization, how time affects an executive. An executive is to use the available time between personal and family needs as a way to further develop the growth of his organization. The main focus is results. It's important that the executive also creates time to improve himself and job proficiency. An executive should always remember how important the organization's main objectives are and the functions that he has and he is in charge of. The process is not an easy one, which is why it really requires an executive to have sharp middle skills and to use the resource readily available to him, such as equipment and other software and devices that can help him use his time more proficiently. And that's how we expect an executive to use his time, but in reality, that's not always the case. So what we previously talked about is the normal expectations of an executive. However, those aren't often met. Instead, executives usually work in a more leisure manner. This can be caused and create numerous problems, such as too many men in the workforce, time consumption due to environmental constraints and procedures, an absence of a system, which we just talked about is a key resource, and the lack of creative outlooks towards life and work. In addition, inadequate communication and the lack of supplies consumes most of the available time, creating negative results. Such factors are mainly due to the lack of clear objectives. Other factors include the ignorance of time and value and the indiscipline of some of those employees. So what's the result of invaluable time? As we talked about previously, time cannot be regained, and we talked about that at the beginning of the chapter. Having an executive who does not value time and does not focus on the main objectives of the organization could cause, the existence of a bad company culture, and people don't typically want to go and work for a company that's has a bad reputation, doesn't have a good culture. It can also result in the exploitation of an executive because, rather than just doing his part, he's having to take the extra workload of a lower salary member due to a loose organization. So overall, organization is extremely important in time management, and again, it can't be recovered, so it's really important that executives use time to their advantage.
In Chapter 5, Thanu really emphasizes the importance of time and using it wisely. For instance, he says that a company needs a clear goal so that everyone is on the same page. They all know what they're working towards. Okay, ignorant employees, they can really throw off the scheme of things because they think that they're not wasting somebody's time. And also, an executive doesn't need to do jobs that people who are in the lower levels can do. Then he moves on to showing how lower level employees kind of take advantage of having an open channel to the boss. They can disturb the boss with random questions and questions that aren't really necessary to keep things going, and they don't realize the importance of the time, of the executive's time. The executive needs to think of time as a critical resource and use it as such, so that way they are more productive, and these questions that lower level employees are interrupting them with should be put to a halt. There is a solution to the executives having better use of their time. For one, they have to quit with all the unproductiveness, things that are taking away time that is valuable. They need to put a stop to it, even if that's lower level employees coming in with some random questions that have nothing to do with the job. They need to find a way to put a stop to that. Also, they need to find time savers. If that's making faster decisions or something of that nature, that would really be beneficial to add time to put towards something else. The executives also need to know what their main goal is, the goal that they are trying to reach for the whole company. That way, even lower level employees, managers, everyone can have one goal that they're trying to reach. Another thing that would help was to have a schedule. If they put a schedule together, they can put more important things towards the top of the schedule so they know exactly where they're at, what to put their time towards, and this will save so much more time for them, and they have more time to do things that are more creative and can put some more use to the time that they